the last week of Build Your Business Bootcamp. Let's just talk a little bit about what we've done and where we've gone. The very first week, we were talking about building your foundation, and that was really trying to get you to focus on why are you going into business for yourself. For a lot of times, it's because you want the freedom. You want to be in control of your own schedule, or you have family obligations that require you to design and set up things for yourself. The second week, we then started talking about what are the habits of successful business owners. And these are habits that must be done. There really are. If you're going to be successful in business, I've been running businesses for the last 30 years. There are certain routines, certain structure that you need to have that will help you be a successful business owner. And I know that if you create those habits for yourself, you'll not only have the quality of life you want, you will also be able to be a success. The third week, last week, we went over how to go about prospecting new clients. And this was something that it took me a while to figure this one out. It was, people would say you need to work on your business, not in your business. And I was so very good at working in my business. I had no idea what people were talking about. And basically what they were doing was just trying to work with folks and help them understand that they needed to spend time looking for that next new client. So basically marketing, promotion, and chatting with new groups of people. So this week, week 4, we're going to talk about keeping your contacts top of mind. Now, when it comes to building your foundation, we really described about how it is so important that you build your calendar. Now, this does not mean that you pack your calendar with things to do every single day of the week. It's more really design the life you wish to lead. And sometimes this can be the hardest part. Sometimes the very first week really does a number on people because they're not used to thinking of, oh, let me build my life and then fit my business in the cracks of that life. But really it is about, when are you going to go on vacation? When are you going to do retreats? What's your lifestyle plan? And the very last one is, what is your income plan? But for me, it's like build everything else first, and then the money, that part of it will come into crystal clear clarity because you've already defined the lifestyle for yourself. A lot of people don't understand that, but you walk through all that, you'll be just fine. The day of the week that is one of my favorites is Sunday, because that's the day I sit down and I plan out my perfect life. Now, it rarely comes to pass like that. However, there's a period of 2 hours where I'm like, oh, my life is so good and this is the way it's going to run. But I have to say that the older I get, the better it gets. And so I'm very excited for you as you're on this path, building the life that you want for yourself. Now, we were talking about creating your habits of success, and that was some people would call it, this is where you need to set boundaries. It's like, what are your work hours going to be like? Now, some people are not like me. They have a very defined way they want to live their life. But for those of you who maybe struggle at being able to set up boundaries, I highly recommend that you get 2 phones. You have one that's your business phone, you have the other one that's your private phone, and you don't give your clients or your customers your personal phone number. If they want to contact you or work with you, they have one phone number, and that phone stays on your desk, and you only look at it when you are on your work hours. This was something that I started doing really early on because I struggled. I wanted to help so many people, but I struggled at creating the boundaries that were going to help me with my lifestyle. So that's something that I wanted to share with you. The other thing is, everybody that you contact, anyone that you chat with, you want to put in some sort of a spreadsheet, and your contacts on Facebook and LinkedIn, you want to upload to that spreadsheet so you can keep track of the people that you're meeting, what their links are, how you can get a hold of them, their contact information. And my business has really exploded over the last 4 years, where I started off where I only had about roughly 758 people, and I'm now up to almost 5,000 people that I am connected with, where I have actually been either on a Zoom meeting or I have texted or something like that. So when you have this kind of sheet running, when you get to a point where you're struggling to do your follow-up, then you might want to think about getting a CRM, a client relationship manager piece of software. But until then, you can really just use Google Forms or spreadsheets, whatever, to do that work for you. when it comes to prospecting your new clients, we chatted about what that looks like because there's so many different ways that you can meet people. So we talked about how to take your social media messaging and get people on a Zoom or a phone call. And basically it's just as simple as asking, hey, let's take this conversation to a phone call. Let's take this conversation to a Zoom call. And that's why I really recommend that if you're a business owner, definitely get on LinkedIn. People are used to making these sorts of phone calls and Zoom calls all the time. They're more than happy to connect with people and find out how we can support one another and help each other. Another thing is if you have a whole box full of business cards, with Prospecting 2.0, we can talk about how you just start entering those business cards in and start working with them and put them in your contact sheet and say, hey, reach out to those people and spend an hour a week reaching out to them. Now, this week's information is a little different from everything else we've talked about. This is where you reach back around to the clients who know you, who like you, and you help them realize that you enjoy them, all right? 80% of the reason that people will walk away from a business owner or a business is because they don't think they are valued. And so how are you going to let your people know that you value them? And for me, I really struggle with this. It's like, okay, I don't know how to let them know. I know how much they mean to me, but how do I present that? Everybody kind of seems to need a different thing. Now, I found my answer, and that was through sending cards. And I used to do a lot of handwritten cards to people. Anytime somebody signed on with me for one of my $5,000 or $10,000 packages, I would handwrite a letter to them. But the thing is it's up to you. What makes you happy? What is it that you really like doing for people who have done you the service of paying you for your time? So take a moment and try to decide, okay, what am I going to do for my people? For me, it was very simple. It was send out cards. Send out cards happens to be an MLM. There are several processes and companies out there where you send cards automatically, but you don't want to automate this too much. You want it to be an intimate connection so that when they sign up with you, they know that you're the one that sent that card. And you want to use your voice. You don't want it to look like what people do for holidays or birthdays where you're just in an automated system and you're just getting the card. You really want it to be characterized of your intimate conversations with them. So I highly recommend that you start sending cards, and you do that anytime you get off the phone with somebody. I ask for people's mailing address all the time. The other thing about keeping people top of mind is make sure you understand where their happy place is. What is it that they like doing? What is it that drives them? When it comes to following up with them, sometimes you stumble across a client's favorite piece of music or something like that, and you can tell them, oh, I was walking along on the beach today, and I happened to hear, and then mention a conversation you've had, and take a picture and send it on your social media. These are ways to just let people know that you're thinking about them and you care about them. Now, some people say, Janine, if I have products that I'm shipping out and I'm mailing these to thousands of people, how am I going to do that? Well, please remember, I'm in a very service-oriented business, and my business thrives through referrals. If I don't get referrals, then it's very difficult for me to get new people because there is so much trust that is required. And so if a friend refers people to me, then it works out much better. But for people who are selling products, or maybe through LinkedIn or what have you, there are ways to let people know that you appreciate them. Anytime they purchase something from you, set it up that a month later that you will reach out to them either through direct mail marketing or through an email. Hey, we understand that you purchased XYZ from us. How about you review us on, whatever platform you happen to be using? These are ways that you let people know you care about what they think, and you want to make sure that whatever product or service they're using works for you. Now, this slide kind of goes back to that, okay, set up, when are you going to be working? When are you going to be doing prospecting, following up? When are your office hours? Really define the life that you want for yourself. And if you set up a calendar like this, you will really be able to be incredibly successful with the lifestyle you want. It's difficult to not be doing what you want to be doing when you have a clear idea of how you want to spend each day of your life. So I only present this to you as a template. Decide for yourself what you want to do with your life, how you want each day to look, and then walk that path. It's very important that you do that. Also remember that in the lessons, you have access to this master contact sheet example or template. Just go up into File on the left-hand corner of there. Go ahead and go to File and make sure that you make a copy so that you are using your own template and you're not using the class template. So make a copy of it and you'll be good to go. And then name it something else, like, use your own first name and this is my master contact sheet. That'll make sure that you always access the right contact sheet for your business. The biggest thing that you can do for yourself when it comes to keeping people top of mind, as well as letting your clients know how you care about them, is to automate as many of your processes as possible. Right now, we have more software that has been developed and more technology than we've ever had in our lives. Do not see it as a rate limiting step. Just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean you actually need to learn it. Sometimes you just need to hire someone to do the automation for you. You don't need to tell them how to do their job, but if you are crystal clear with somebody and you say, look, I have XYZ situation and I want to have an outcome that looks like this. Do you know of a software package or a system that will do that for me? So that's what you will find a lot of promise, and you also find a lot of help comes to you because you just need to see what is it that I'm doing the same over and over every day in my business, and how can I automate that? One of the things I've learned is that some people wait too late to hire an executive assistant. I was one of them for years. But I learned my lesson that when my business got to a certain level, I knew that it was time to hire an executive assistant or a virtual assistant. And I started off by only getting something like 5 hours or 6 hours a month. I had it set up very small so I could afford it. But then the more that I hired that executive assistant and the more I worked with them, the higher my revenue got. I started making more and more money because I wasn't bogged down into doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And instead, I was paying her to do it, and it really works out for the best for you. Just wanted to let you know that when you start automating, the very first step, it's like, this is kind of the joke that we have in the business community. The very first person that you hire, of course, is a CPA. Some businesses require an attorney. The very next person that you hire is usually an executive assistant. And then after that, you start building teams of people around you. It's just one of the ways that businesses grow. So this is week 4 of keeping contacts top of mind. It goes into how to follow up with the people who have already purchased with you. What are you doing to keep them nurtured and letting them know that you care about what's happening in their lives and that you are here for them should they ever need your services or products again? Find a system that is workable for you, is something that you want to do for your clients and past clients, and make sure that that follow-up system is totally in alignment with how you want to live your life, and then work that system, automate it, and keep it rolling. Last thing I wanted to share with you today is thank you for trusting me with your money. Thank you for trusting me with your time. And if there's anything else that I can do for you as it comes to building your business, if there are referrals that you can if there are referrals that I can give for you with my network, let me know. And also, I would appreciate you referring people to me so that we can help more people here be able to live the life they want working at their own business. Thank you so much for joining us here on Build Your Business Bootcamp. I have thoroughly enjoyed being able to work with you. And like I said, if there's anything I can do, please reach out through email and I will respond to you as quick as possible. Have a fantastic summer, and I wish you a wonderful and profitable